This is Vicinity 95.3 FM, IKEJI Ijesha. The time is 12 o'clock. I am Boluwatife, Ajayi with Global News. First, the headlines. Tinubu directs IGP to restore law and order in Rivers State. Ethiopia's parliament okays replacement of president. And former Lebanese prime minister cries out to the international community for help. Now the news in full. The police has been ordered to protect local government secretariat in Rivers State from attacks by arsonists and vandals. The directive was given by President Bola Tinubu following incidents where angry individuals set fire on several council secretariats after last weekend's local government elections. He appealed to all political leaders to help calm the situation and discourage their supporters from engaging in violence or destructive acts. According to the president, the judiciary can resolve all political disputes, and the outcome of these elections should be no different. From Kebbi State comes this report that more than 40 fishermen armed with bows and arrows have successfully killed the notorious hippopotamus, which has been terrorizing the people of Yahuri in the state. The action follows directives issued by the state governor through the Emir of Yahuri, Alhaji Zayanu Abdullahi. You may recall that the animal fatally attacked and killed a security guard at the Emir's occurred. Away from Nigeria, we hear a French Cameroonian writer, Charles Onana, is due to go on trial in Paris, accused of complicity in contesting the 1994 Rwanda genocide. Onana, in his book, described the idea that the Hutu government had planned a genocide in Rwanda as one of the biggest scams of the last century. His lawyer, Emmanuel Pire, noted that the book was the work of a political scientist based on 10 years of research to understand the mechanism of the genocide before, during, and after. It is the second case of denying the Rwanda genocide to come to trial in France. Under French law, it is an offense to deny or minimize the fact of any genocide that is officially recognized by France. You will recall that in 2021, French President Emmanuel Macron asked Rwandans to forgive France for its role in the Rwanda genocide, which left over 800,000 people dead. Mozambique presidential election is scheduled for Wednesday this week. Besides this, the South African country will also hold its parliamentary as well as government election the same day. President Philip Nyusi will step down following the end of his 2 terms in office. He is hoping to hand over the reign of power to Daniel Chapo, who is the younger member of the ruling Frelimo party and the party's presidential candidate. Chapo will be facing a challenge from 3 other candidates from different parties. Ethiopia's parliament has okayed the appointment of a new president to replace the country's first female head of state, Sahle-Work Zewde. We hear the country's foreign minister, Taye Atsike Selassie, has stepped into her shoes. The position is largely ceremonial since political power in Ethiopia lies with the prime minister, who is currently Abiy Ahmed. This is Vicinity 95.3 FM, IKEJI Ijesha. Global News will continue shortly. Now the rest of the news. Tunisia President Kais Saied is gunning for another term in office as the people get set to cast their vote in the forthcoming presidential election come Sunday this week. More than 1 dozen politicians had hoped to challenge him, but the country Electoral Commission has approved only 2 additional names for the ballot paper. One of them has been sentenced to 12 years in prison for playing hanky-panky with document barely 5 days before the poll. You may recall that Tunisia was where the Arab Spring involving a series of protests against autocratic rulers started in late 2010. We gather that the present leader is being seen as autocratic after having been elected in 2019. He has suspended parliament, rewritten the constitutions, and has concentrated power in his hand. A former Prime Minister of Lebanon, Fouad Smoura, says his country has been abandoned by the international community. Fouad, in a statement, noted that it was unacceptable to leave Lebanon to fall. He noted that his country was in a very difficult situation that requires real help locally as well as from the Arab states and internationally. He made it point blank that Lebanon as a state has been kidnapped by Hezbollah, and behind Hezbollah is Iran. You may like to know that Lebanon has been without a properly functioning government since 2022. Israel's military said it had begun ground operation in southwest Lebanon. The Israeli military stated this today. The Israeli military noted that it had extended its ground operations to a new zone a year after exchanges of fire began with armed group Hezbollah. This move comes amidst pleas by the UN for a diplomatic solutions. However, Iran Foreign Minister Abbas Araki has warned Israel against attacks on the Islamic Republic a week after Tehran fired a barrage of missiles on it. Araki noted that any attack on Iran's infrastructure will be met with retaliation. A 7-year-old American citizen has been given a 7-year jail term by a Russian court for allegedly fighting as a mercenary for Ukraine. Prosecutors said Stephen James' husband was serving in a defense unit based in the eastern part of Ukraine when he was captured by Russian forces in April 2022, according to the prosecution. James had systematically received material compensation for his participation in the war on Ukrainian side. Now to sport. Victor Osimhen says he is enjoying life in his new home in Istanbul. Osimhen is set to play for Galatasaray on a season-long loan from Napoli. The former Sporting Cagliari player was met with thousands of enthusiastic Galatasaray fans who thronged the Istanbul airport to welcome him as he arrived in the country to complete his loan move. Osimhen reciprocated the fans' love by changing his bio, while immediately deleting all traces of his parent club, Napoli, from his social media page and flaunted pictures and colours of Galatasaray. To end the global news, another look at the headlines. The police has been ordered to protect local government secretariat in Rivers State from attacks by arsonists and vandals. The directive was given by President Boluwatife following incident where angry individuals set fire on several council secretariats after last weekend's local government elections. We told you that Ethiopia's parliament has okayed the appointment of a new president to replace the country's first female head of state, Saleh Zwede. We heard the country's foreign minister, Tai Atsike Salesli, has stepped into our shoes. And lastly, you heard that the former Prime Minister of Lebanon, Fuad Simiora, said his country has been abandoned by the international community. Fuad, in a statement, noted that it was unacceptable to leave Lebanon to fall. And just before we go, the last line. Let Tuesday remind you that every small step adds to significant achievement. That was Global News. On behalf of the news editor, Boluwatife Obi Israel, I am Boluwatife Ajayi. Many thanks for listening. Please stay tuned for news nationwide at 5 o'clock. Good afternoon.